History is not made by perfect men. It is made by those who refuse to step aside. Winston Churchill, a name forever tied to victory and resistance. But before he became a hero, he was something else. Failure. Rejected by his own party, mocked in Parliament, ignored when he warned the world about Hitler. 4 years, his voice meant nothing. Then Europe began to collapse. Governments fell. Armies retreated. Hope started to fade. And in that moment, the man no one wanted became the only one willing to speak. This is the story of a man who survived failure, who stood when others hesitated, and who understood that sometimes silence is surrender, and words, spoken at the right moment, can change history. He arrived in a world of titles, power, and expectations, yet affection was something rarely offered to him. His father, Lord Randolph Churchill, was a brilliant politician and a distant one, demanding, impatient, a man who expected greatness but rarely expressed pride. His mother, Jenny Churchill, American-born and admired in high society, lived a life of movement and attention. Emotionally, she was often absent. Winston adored her, but felt her absence deepen. From an early age, Churchill learned something quietly painful. Love was conditional. At school, he struggled. Not just a little, he struggled constantly. His grades were poor. His handwriting was criticized. His behavior questioned. Teachers did not see potential. They saw a problem. Some believed he lacked intelligence. Others believed he lacked discipline. Young Winston absorbed every judgment, and it stayed with him. He failed exams others passed easily. He was punished often, corrected endlessly. When the time came to enter the Royal Military Academy, he failed the entrance exam and again. For most boys, that would have been the end of ambition. For Churchill, it became the beginning of something else. Failure did not break him. It trained him. It hardened his patience. It sharpened his hunger. When he finally entered Sandhurst, he was not the best cadet, but he was determined. At Sandhurst, Churchill discovered two forces that would define his entire life. First was war, not war as theory, but war as chaos, noise, risk, uncertainty. Second was writing. He learned that words could travel faster than bullets, that stories could turn survival into influence, that a pen could give meaning to danger. As a young officer, Churchill did not choose safe assignments. He chased the edges of empire. Cuba, India, Sudan, places where conflict lived openly, where bullets were real, and death was close. He was not there only to fight. He observed, he wrote, he reported. Churchill placed himself inside danger, and then described it to the world. Not for glory, not for medals, but for relevance. He wanted to matter. He wanted to be known. He wanted to prove that the boy once dismissed as slow had a voice worth hearing. And slowly, the world began to notice. After Sandhurst, Churchill did not wait for opportunity. He went looking for it. At the end of the 19th century, the British Empire stretched across the world, and wherever conflict appeared, Churchill wanted to be there. Not because he loved violence, but because he understood something most men did not. War creates attention. His first taste of real conflict came in Cuba, where he observed fighting at close range. Bullets were no longer stories. They were sounds passing his head. From there, he traveled to India, serving on the turbulent edges of empire. At night, while others slept, Churchill wrote. He wrote about danger, about fear, about the psychology of men under fire. Writing was no longer a hobby. It was a weapon. Then came Sudan. In the desert heat, Churchill rode with cavalry units into battle. He saw men fall beside him. He saw chaos without speeches or glory. And again, he wrote. His reports reached Britain. People read his words and felt close to war, without ever leaving home. But it was South Africa that changed everything. During the Boer War, Churchill was captured by enemy forces. For many, this would have been the end. Instead, it became legend. He escaped from a prisoner of war camp alone, traveling hundreds of miles through hostile territory. When he returned to Britain, newspapers turned him into a hero. Churchill learned a permanent lesson. Survival plus storytelling equals power. He was no longer just a soldier. He was a name, a voice, someone people recognized. And with that recognition, he made his next move, politics. Churchill did not enter Parliament quietly. He entered with confidence built on danger, and a belief that history rewarded those who stepped forward, not those who waited. He was young, ambitious, and convinced that his destiny was larger than the battlefield. But Churchill did not yet know that his greatest failure was still ahead. A war that was meant to make him a national hero would nearly destroy everything he had built. His reputation, his power, his political future. In the next episode, Winston Churchill faces a decision that sends thousands to their deaths and pushes him into political exile. The question is this: can a man history does not yet need rise again after such a fall? Power rises, power falls, but some voices echo forever. The story continues in part 2.